about the year 2000, Brock and Haley Johnson, which are our directors, started Diesel and Dirt Contracting. We're a mobile maintenance field service company. So we work across multiple different aspects in mining, civil, and we look after mobile plant. So we're pretty much a contracting company that is there to assist, large-scale mining companies. We started in smaller areas, and we've grown to quite a big business across the Pilbara, South Australia, all of Western Australia, and a bit of Northern Territory. We established in Victoria in the 2000s. We slowly moved to the west with the way that the industry's evolved. So the reason that we've sort of grown the way we have is with the industry, and so that's our main objective. We have auto electricians as well. We have some boiler makers as well, and it sort of all goes hand in hand with that mobile maintenance sector. That's what we sort of do. It's pretty straightforward, and we've built a pretty big team over the last sort of 3 to 5 years with the way that the iron ore industry's progressed. At the moment, I think we've got around about 150 staff. So we've got full-time employees, casual employees, and an office set up in Victoria and in WA. So we employ about 150 people, men and women across WA, and all those people don't necessarily reside in Western Australia as well. So we've got people that are fly out from Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, Darwin, a couple of people from Tasmania as well. So we definitely service the greater broadness of Australia, and being able to attract people from the eastern states to come and help us in WA. We don't have a large population in Western Australia, so to get those specific skill sets, we have to be appetising to the eastern states individuals, and we've had some good success there. Brock and I have worked really closely over the last three to 4 years, looking at some innovations that we can do in our industry. Our industry is pretty simple and stock standard, so what could we do as Diesel and Dirt that was different to other contracting companies and other ways that we did things? So we sat down and we went through a number of different strategies that we looked at, whether it was building better utes or do we have better conditions for people, and then we also looked at where the places that people want to work. Do we want to work in really remote localities where we didn't have great camps, or did we want to work with tier 1 mining that had really good after hours facilities? So a lot of our clients now will have golf simulators, pools, really high-end meals, stuff like that. So we had to look at it from a really strategic aspect, and Norweld sort of fell into that when we went looking for a canopy that wasn't really industrial. We wanted something to sort of bring a bit of rec market into what we did, and it sort of appealed to us both quite significantly because we were in the market of, we're mad keen fishermen, we love our camp and we love our full driving. So how could we take some of that element into a really commercial perspective? And then that was the reason that we approached and wanted to build something that was more appealing to the market, aesthetically pleasing, but functional was the biggest thing. So functionality is a really big thing in our businesses and the people that we work with. So we're working off processing tonnes per hour, efficiencies, utilisations, availability. So how could we increase that by providing an innovative solution in a vehicle? And that was the main reason that we approached Norweld and looked at what we could do as a partnership. And the main reason was the ability to have some innovation. And I think Norweld's been definitely very open to changing some of their basis, being from a recreational background and starting to move into a commercial and industrial side. It was a matter of how we could bring our expertise from the field and put that into a Norweld perspective and keeping that Norweld touch on what we built. The most thing I was impressed about is the efficiency of the business and the way it's laid out. I think everyone can draw a flow chart on a piece of paper and we can all follow that, but to be able to actually input that into the business and see the leadership on the ground, and the leadership comes from obviously the top of the directors through to your management team and through to sales. So I think I was impressed at the way the quality control is really important to us. We're putting these assets in really remote areas where you don't have access to TIG welders and stuff like that if you get a crack. So for us, it was about seeing the product firsthand of how intensely important it was to make sure it was a durable product. And I was extremely impressed with the way that the flow in through the workshop was, and to see the input from not only the direct staff but also the high management staff still being involved in the day-to-day on the ground to know that you're getting that quality out of the shop, and to see the amount of people that are working in that area. It's amazing to see the flow and effect, to see from start to finish it come out in the product that it is today. To build that list of critical spares so we know that the things that are most in the way of potentially being damaged through a multitude of different reasons, We've been able to develop that together and put a critical spares parts list together, which is stocked obviously in Norweld in Perth, and also some of it within our workshop in Perth. It gives us the ability to turn machines or turn cars around really quickly. So if we have a door that's been left ajar, or someone's forgot to do something, or someone's sideswiped the car, we've got the ability to change them out very quickly and not have a ute sitting on site. Utes are our biggest asset in our business, and we need them to get people from site to site. So when we've got one sitting still, we not only have the ute sitting still, we have the person sitting still. So that's not an ideal situation. So what we've got the ability to do now is that we can, patch fix something quite quickly to keep someone going, but then in the background, we've got access to doors, we've got access to trundle drawers, we've got access to drawer runners, we've got access to, guards, whatever it may be. To be able to turn that around really quickly has definitely enhanced the way that we operate. Your assets got to keep moving all the time. We talk about it from a mining perspective and a civils perspective. If you've got a grader or a dump truck or a dozer or a digger down, they're the money-making objects. So we need to make sure that we're doing that. But the most important thing is for our retention of our people, because if someone's sitting still because of a broken asset and they can't go to a site, well, they're not being paid, and they're not going to hang around for very long. So we need to keep that constantly moving to make sure that we've got our people going to work, because that's what they're here for. And a lot of interstate people that work with us, they're not here to have a holiday or sit in a small town like Leonora or Laverton for 3 days and wait for something to happen. We've got to be really reactive at that and make sure it's sorted out as quick as we can. We've been able to market our brand, and it's something different, like we talked about at the start. The reason we we went into this partnership was to provide something different into the market no one's seen. So as we started to float these out into the real world as such, out of the factories and out of our workshop into the real world, we started to hear a lot more chat about our business. We've been around for 20 odd years, and we've sort of been a business that's kept very much under the rug. We do it, we stay in our lane, we do our things. But as we've sort of grown with our asset, and we've seen the Norweld come into the fleet space and move into the mining industry, we're starting to get a lot more attention as a business. So for us, it's helped us definitely brand our name, and inside of that, we've had more people wanting to come and work with Diesel and Dirt. And then in saying that, we were very strategic about the way that when we brought the Norwelds into our business, we've got a lot of long-serving employees, and I talk about Brock and I working with this, but it was a lot of other people in the business that have been, on the ground for a long period of time that we had consultation with. We had, we had a beer and a pie to see how they're going. We went to site and said, hey, what would you like more in a ute than what you've got now? Like, how can we, it's a massive team, because we can build something tomorrow and it might not be right for site. So we need to go to our senior people and say, hey, what do you need in this site? What do you need? And we've got female employees, we've got male employees, and they're going to be different. Females are not as strong as males, so they don't want a 15-kilo vice hanging off the back. They've got to swing down on the swing arm. So how do we ergonomically change that? So we've looked at different angles that we can do with that. So I think the input from that to build an asset that then we put into the real world has definitely helped with branding promoting our business. And we've had some good feedback from that, but the retention is second to none.